Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Happy New Year everyone. I hope you all had a great start into 2025. My year didn't start as I would have wanted it to start. This video should have come out sooner, but unfortunately I got sick right on January 1st, so I was in bed for 2 days and then I completely lost my voice. But now I feel better and I'm back. So I planned on doing the Birbfest challenge during January, and I want to follow the official prompt list, but since I missed a couple of days right in the beginning of the month, I will be doing the challenge a bit different, so I won't be drawing one prompt a day, but do a couple a day. Birbfest has become one of my favorite monthly drawing challenges next to the mermaid challenge. I love watching Monkey Mintaka here on YouTube, and she hosts the challenge, and that's how I found out about the challenge, because she does it and I saw her do it, and I started. My first one I did was last year, and so I was looking forward to do the challenge again this year. The prompt list for this year is very interesting compared to last year. There are some really cool birds, and I'm really looking forward to be drawing them all. Also for this challenge I decided to pick a new sketchbook that I've never used before. If you have seen any of my other videos, you know that I usually use the Hahnemühle DNS sketchbook, which I like, but I needed a different one to experiment more with different mediums. This sketchbook is the Venezia sketchbook by Fabriano. When I first started out the sketchbook, before drawing in it for Birbfest, I wasn't quite sold on the paper, to be honest, but after I finished this first spread, I'm really glad I picked this one up. The paper can take a lot. It's not perfect for watercolor, since it's not watercolor paper, but the paper is very thick and it holds up watercolor, water-based markers and ink without any bleed through. Colored pencils go on it super smooth, and you can layer a lot without having any issue with the paper surface tearing or anything like that. The paper is white, so the colors really pop. For the first drawing I used Pigma Microns, watercolors and colored pencils, and a marker for the background. I created a board on Pinterest for the challenge with all the birds in it for reference. I want to take the time during this challenge to explore different styles for lettering also, and I want to mix different materials. In 2024 I mainly used watercolors, which I really love, but I have so many other things at home that I haven't used much or even used at all. So we artists are all guilty of buying too many art supplies, and so these types of challenges are the perfect way to use these supplies and not be too precious about them. Even though I started the first page really simple, like my usual style, with a bit of ink, watercolor as a base and colored pencils on top, I then get to use different materials as I go on in the challenge. Also, the fact that I'm using a different sketchbook is opening up a door for those other materials. I love using the Ecoline brush pens, for example, but using them in my DNS sketchbook isn't fun at all, and so I haven't really used them a lot. I've shown my collection in one of my previous videos, and so now in my new sketchbook this is the time to use them, and I've been really enjoying using them on this paper. So in my DNS sketchbook, the paper sucks in all of the ink, and here on this paper the markers lay really smooth and the colors look really good on the white paper. Also, paper that sucks in a lot of ink makes the ink look much darker than it really is, and the surface of that kind of paper is kind of ruined after putting on the water-based marker and making it really difficult to go on top with, for example, ink, which then feathers a lot, or with colored pencils because the surface is all fluffed up. So this paper here gives me a lot of freedom to mix materials with each other and for them to have no issues performing as they should. like how the second page turned out. I love putting the Ecoline pens as a base to work with the polychromos on top. I also like the muted colors of the birds with the blue I used for the background later on. And these birds are really cute and I wanted to draw even more, but I had to limit myself at 3 pictures and I had to keep going with the next prompt. Now I'll leave you with some cozy music in the background and I will talk to you in a bit. The fourth prompt was also a very fun one to do. I had this idea in my mind to make this page look like one of those old school comic book illustrations. At first I was a bit unsure if I wanted to draw this at all, I have to admit, because I was a bit intimidated by all the work that goes into drawing all of those feathers, but sometimes it's just that you have to overcome your overthinking, because it wasn't that bad at all in the end, and I had a lot of fun doing this. So another good thing about these challenges is they pull you out of your comfort zone. I wanted to focus on inking for this, because I need some more practice in inking, because I'm a bit rusty. I do a lot of ink outlining in my drawings, but not a lot of hatching lately. since I didn't want to take the focus of the ink work I decided to color this in with a light wash of watercolor. And since the watercolor is pretty light, I decided to bring in some more contrast using a darker blue for the background. I also use different lettering styles for each prompt, and I really like designing some letters that look good with the overall illustration. The fifth prompt was also the most time consuming because I decided to do these birds with colored pencils and very detailed. The footage for this is a bit shiny, so sorry for that. I should have checked during the recording, but you learn by failing sometimes, so I will be using a different camera angle if I do stuff with colored pencils. I also wished I had picked maybe a different set of colored pencils for this, maybe because the polychromos don't have a lot of very vibrant colors like really saturated pinks and so on. Or maybe I could have used different base colors for this one, but in the end I liked the overall look of them. I just wanted them to be a bit more on the pinker side. So with this paper I really like using colored pencils again, which I haven't done in quite a bit. Especially last year I focused more on watercolors, maybe because the DNS Sketchbook, which I used to use, has a very difficult paper to work with. The paper is meant for dried mediums and graphite and colored pencils, but layering on that paper, it doesn't give you a lot of layers to build up the colors, because after a couple of layers the paper surface starts to scratch off. And maybe it's on me because I'm a bit heavy-handed on it, but it really makes it not fun to work on. And so I kind of find my love for colored pencils again, especially with this paper, because you can really layer and layer on it without damaging the paper at all. For the stone shed bird, I decided to do something a bit more simplistic and quicker, and so I went with watercolors, and then I decided to ink it with a fountain pen using this ink by Aurora and Klingner called Lily, which is a dark brown. After I finished the second watercolor layer, this page had a bit of a Japanese vibe to it, so I decided to go with a Japanese looking font for the bird name. I had a lot of fun with the 6 pages. Let me know in the comments which one is your favorite one, and if you like this video, leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet and would like to see more videos. So stay tuned for my next Birbfest video coming next week, and thank you so much for watching. Have a nice day. Bye guys.